song?
Wicked Woman.
There you go. I prefer Billy Joel's She's Always a Woman to Me.
Welcome to Lessons from the Thank You Box.
Hey,
This is Jesse Lee Falls.
how's it going?
So how you doing today?
I'm good, man.
Right on.
Yeah, thanks for asking me to
No problem. Thanks for coming.
do
for
this.
Sure.
Dude,
Sure.
podcasting is the shit.
It's the way of the future, I guess.
It is.
You know, and I don't know. I'm trying to get my 10 cents out of it. You know.
Yeah.
I guess. But thank you for coming on. So what kind of music do you play? It sounds like it's a funky blues kind of, and you play good guitar. That's for
Thanks,
sure.
buddy. Very good, thank you. Yeah, funk rock is kind of I would say probably the category I'd put it in. You know, if it was going to be on like a Pandora radio station, it'd probably be like Chili Peppers radio, something like that.
That's cool.
I got a lot of James Brown and Motown influence in my songwriting. Stevie Wonder.
Definitely.
I mean, I think Stevie Wonder.
He's amazing.
I mean, these are bold statements, but I think he's probably the greatest songwriter.
He probably is. You know, he wrote good songs.
I mean,
every song he wrote was a good song.
I'm not going to sit here and debate Stevie Wonder with Beethoven.
Right.
Well, Beethoven's been dead a long time.
It's just, but I think that like for living, I think Stevie Wonder's probably the greatest living songwriter in the world. I mean,
him or Carole King maybe too. He's in that echelon of not the same style necessarily, but
I've gone over this in my head so many times, trying to think of somebody maybe possibly a better songwriter than Stevie Wonder. But for me personally, it's like I think that's what every songwriter should probably be trying to aspire to. If you can throw some Hendrix and some rock and shit in there, like great. But as far as just like songwriting, Stevie.
Speaking of Hendrix, your cover of his song is really good because he's kind of a guy. You know, how can you can't make it better? I don't think. You know, you can only make it as semi good. Really, you know, because he's a different level of musician for sure. And you did a really good version. I liked your solo on it.
Thank you.
It grabbed you. You know, it was the same, but it was different.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, exactly.
You can feel the same song in there, but
Watchtower is a fun one, and a lot of Hendrix's stuff is like that. It's open enough to where you can, you can sit there and you can do Hendrix note for note, if you want. But but it was kind of like that wasn't. I don't really think that was the spirit of Jimmy anyway.
No.
Jimmy was constantly taking stuff and Bob Dylan wrote that song, right? But Hendrix made it famous.
Yeah, Hendrix made it his own.
It happens that way.
Yeah,
for sure.
You know, I mean, Bob Dylan, there was no. It's like, where did that come from, dude? Like, that wasn't in the original. Like,
no shit.
Yeah, it's like,
exactly.
Yeah, man, he created melodies and stuff for that. It was just, and it's an amazing story about that song, actually. The way that they recorded that song. I don't know if you know anything.
No, tell us. I'd love to hear.
Yeah, so he's over in the UK, and this is I want to say I think 70.
Right.
So this is right before he passed away.
When you were born, and I was
probably
still 2 years out.
Probably just a year. We're probably talking within a year of him passing away. So they're in the UK, and him and Noel, the bass player, they were starting to have falling outs. Right. Like Noel wanted to be. He was a rhythm guitar player, and he didn't even want to play bass for him. He got the gig because of his hair.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody's gotta have something.
Jimmy straight up said, "I like your hair.
Wow.
I want you to play bass for me." And he's like, "I'm a rhythm guitar player, man."
Right.
And so so there was already weird conflict,
Right.
And so anyways, it got to a point where they were recording that in the studio. They were doing Watchtower. And Noel was supposed to play bass. Well, I think he showed up late, and then he showed up, and he basically started a conflict.
Right.
And so Jimmy was just like, "Fine, whatever, dude, get the fuck out of here." And Jimmy laid the bass down on that. So yeah, that's not Noel
right. That was
bass.
Pretty much all him. Yeah. Jimmy was so good. He was so good.
And gosh, that's just. And then I think that was right about the time where him and Noel were already kind of like,
Right.
they were on the outs, and he was like, I'm Band of Gypsies was doing its thing, and he was really like loving the fact that he's with Billy Cox, who he was in the army with.
Right.
So I mean, like Roots, and then you got fucking Billy Cox and Buddy Miles on drums.
Yeah.
And so I think
that was phenomenal.
Yeah, man. I think Jimmy was just kind of like, I think I'm kind of getting tired of dealing with these fucking limeys.
Right.
These disagreeable limeys are kind of getting on my nerves.
How did him and Bob Dylan cross paths for him to collaborate on that song?
They never actually did. Jimmy was a huge Bob Dylan fan.
Right.
He loved Dylan. He loved him for his poetic, I think for the poetic side.
Right.
Because I always thought it was ironic. I've never liked Bob Dylan personally.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
As a human or for his music?
Oh no, just for his music. God, I hate that
God,
guy.
that
Never met him. Pretty sure he's a dick.
I saw the the new movie that they put out about him.
Oh yeah.
Had some quirks. Had some quirks.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
But I always thought it was ironic that Jimmy just loved him so much. It was wow, that is a little bit ironic. But he could see, he heard the value in the quality and the value of the songwriting and the artistry, the absolute like unfiltered. That was one thing you can say about Bob Dylan, man. That dude is like absolutely unfiltered. It's like, the hell is he singing? And the cat's in the cradle with the spoon in the,
Right.
And the tambourine with the dog.
Right.
But I always kind of thought that was ironic, but he really was able to take some of his tunes and just lit them on fire.
Yeah, make them their own.
Yeah.
I don't hear too many artists that can do that. Like that Black Dot Mojo she was talking about. Those guys, they did Dream On by Aerosmith.
Oh.
And
It's
they made it their own.
amazing.
I bet.
They really made it their own on it. And they stayed really similar music-wise. Everything was really tight. But this guy's voice is amazing.
It's pure and it's so passionate, and there is not a missed note.
No.
And
He's
you can hear it coming from his gut.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think most of my I grew up playing guitar, listening to heavy metal, and I was very much a huge Megadeth fan.
When did this all start for you? What's your
13.
first memory of this?
Yeah, 13.
Even before that, music. Did you love it? Did you?
Oh yeah. I mean, see, so my sister's got like 8 years on me. So I was, when I was like 7 and 8, I was, watching Headbangers Ball.
Right on.
So,
Wow.
Iron Maiden, dude.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That was the loudest show I've ever been.
Sorry, but I still think they might be still my favorite.
Absolutely, hands down.
I think
They're
so.
good.
I mean,
good. They're
I don't
still the loudest band I've ever heard.
He's got an amazing voice.
well, and you can kind of say that because it's like all of our heroes, the generation that was like just after that, basically like Megadeth and Metallica, they all worship Iron Maiden.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, yeah. There's
the British
hierarchies.
invasion of heavy metal.
There's hierarchies, dude.
Oh yeah, there is. And Iron Maiden's definitely up there. I saw him when I was a sophomore in high school, and my ears rang for like 3 weeks after. They were the loudest, but they sounded good too.
What's your favorite Iron Maiden album?
Peace of Mind?
It's so good you can remember the names. I can't remember the names.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite.
Somewhere in Time is mine.
That's a great one too. That's a great one.
I mean, just every fucking song.
It's one of they're one of those groups that most of their records are like perfect records. Everything's set in the right position.
They're perfect.
They're perfect.
In what way? What do you mean?
Like how the songs are made, how the songs are placed in the
in the playlist. You mean like?
Yeah.
Well, like
Are you telling a story or what do you mean?
I don't know if it is.
Well, yeah.
Kinda.
So definitely Somewhere in Time.
Yeah.
I would say absolutely because you've got Stranger in a Strange Land. You've got Wasted Years. Deja Vu. Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner.
Exactly.
I mean, dude, the whole album is just like, what the fuck, dude?
Pink Floyd on
like, how do they?
Pink Floyd, yeah. Oh
dude,
boy.
like most albums, you got one or two
If you're lucky.
But every song, boom,
Every
boom.
song is just like.
Okay, now I understand what you mean.
The Cult Sonic Temple is one of those two, kind of. You know, and I went and saw them like
Oh, the
6 years
Cult.
ago. I love the Cult. And
They had some killer
killer
songs.
songs.
Killer
They
songs.
were bad live. They only played one, so they played
I
songs.
just watched a music video
Fire
of
Woman
theirs,
was all they played off of that.
and I was like, oh, they're kind of weird. So I was just like, I hadn't seen like a music video of theirs in a long time.
Right.
And I want to say,
Definitely
God, I
back
mean,
then.
it was like probably 91. I mean, it was early,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh.
Yeah, they were weirdos back then.
And
The
how do you
lead
define
singer-
that in our
It's
day?
like the lead singer doesn't quite have a, I don't know.
A
It's like,
stage presence. You're like,
yeah, it's like, it's kind of like,
He was
Oh,
pretty
okay.
drunk when I saw him.
but
It was
great
unfortunate.
voice, great
Oh, great
songs.
voice.
there are a lot of
Great
performers who
songs.
are drunk when they
Well,
perform, but
this guy he missed lyrics here
Yeah.
and there, and they only played one song off of Sonic Boot, Sonic Temple,
Right.
which kind of blows my mind. They had
well, you
every
either have a
song on it.
captivating spirit or you don't.
I
You
know.
can't hide that.
They were
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
But I saw Stone Temple Pilots
Great
there.
tunes,
And
though. Oh, my gosh.
Bush was there, and Alice in Chains, and
That's cool.
Alice in Chains is phenomenal. Like
Oh, yeah.
those guys. I saw him open for Van Hagar in like '90.
Yeah, I actually just said this on one of my podcasts just recently. I think Alice in Chains, because we were just talking about hierarchies. Alice in Chains and Soundgarden.
Oh man,
Those guys
were the two.
And then
Soundgarden. Oh, I
and
love
then to me, because in my mind there's like a trickle down.
Right.
You know,
Right.
Nirvana's in there,
Oh, yeah.
but they're not at the
Right.
top.
No.
Yeah. Sorry, Chris.
And
No,
I-
it's
Love you,
fine.
Chris. Love you, Chris.
We love you, Dave Grohl.
Love you, Chris.
But
Chris is a local.
yeah, he lives over in Nacelle, don't he? Yeah, he's a cool cat.
But I mean, and obviously they have great tunes.
right.
But for me, it was, you know, I can't help it. Like I do, in my mind, I kind of have artists and bands that there's a hierarchy.
Oh yeah, there is.
And I mean, I don't know. I know
I
it's kind
said-
of weird.
How do you define them? How do you decide who's what? An artist or a
Okay,
band?
so well, in
In your opinion.
in the funk realm, well, because we have to go by genre.
Yeah.
So for me, in the funk realm, the hierarchy at the top is James Brown.
Of course.
That's
Of course.
yeah.
That has to be. Because that's where it all came from. With a lot of it came from him.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day.
And I know I can put Stevie Wonder
Oh yeah.
in there. I would. He's really high up there. But then
but
then
different.
when it comes to Stevie Wonder, I would actually put Stevie Wonder in a different category. I would put
He
him
could
at
be
the
in
top
several categories.
at the top of the hierarchy of songwriters.
Right.
So there's all these different like weird categories, and I know it's very nerdy.
No, it's
Oh,
not.
but it's like-
It's
but
not
I-
nerdy.
it's like
I'm the same.
There has to be order. Damn it!
It's like
Everything has to have
Jimi
order.
Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix is at the top of the hierarchy when it comes to guitar players. Why? Because of the trickle down influence of. I mean,
everybody.
the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, Yngwie, Eddie Van Halen, Joe
Oh, Eddie Van
Satriani,
Halen.
Steve Vai,
Yep. All those guys. Exactly.
Eric Johnson, Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yep.
I mean,
There's all.
it's
yeah.
literally like there's not one
Hendrix.
there's not one guitar player
He would be.
who hasn't been touched by Jimmy. Because if you've been touched by Joe Satriani, you've been touched by Jimmy.
Yeah, exactly.
If you've been touched by Yngwie, you've been touched by Jimmy.
Yep. Exactly.
And people don't understand that.
Exactly.
And we want to. It's like forgetting the ancestors of the past.
Right.
It's an atrocity.
It is.
You can't
It
do
is.
it. You
It's
cannot
like
let that
Kiss.
happen.
People go, "Oh, Kiss, they suck." Well, you know what? They're bubblegum as hell. Music-wise, they kind of are. But
They
Slipknot
built
wouldn't
quite
be
an
here.
empire.
Nobody would be here, Rock Road, without them.
But Gene Simmons, he's at the top of the hierarchy when it comes to branding and sales.
Absolutely.
For
That's
sure.
where my expertise
Their,
is.
their music
Hell
isn't.
of a product.
Yeah, their music isn't at the top of the hierarchy.
No.
I was
But
made
he,
to love
as
you.
a
though, was a good
business
song.
owner,
Right.
is at the top. That's the
Totally.
guy we're all trying to be as business, as
Totally.
entrepreneurs.
Yeah, one hell of a
Forget
You
business.
know,
about
and
Yeah.
they have a book on, and it was about the years 72 to 75 before they blew up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were opening for these people, whoever, and they would get fired like after the gig because they were opening, and their show is a spectacle. That's his word.
Yeah.
He wanted to create a spectacle.
Oh, absolutely.
And they did, you know, and the
Absolutely.
opening band would blow them away. People would leave, you know, after
Well,
they
it
have it.
certainly
Like,
sets
wow.
the page for when you see kids now on the stage and they're just running around,
Right.
fist pumping. You're like, this is not a show.
Right.
Right,
Right.
exactly.
Jimi Hendrix was a show.
Oh yeah.
That's a show.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Different feelings you get from both of them, but
Jimmy had bad performances.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
everybody does.
Everybody does. You know.
Yeah, everybody does, man. Like, I don't know. There's some kind of weird, unrealistic expectations with musicians today. It's like people think that, I don't know what it is, man. It's a lot of pretentiousness, I think. You start a band, maybe you've been playing in your garage and you've got some songs together, and then you decide that you're going to get your band out there and you're going to start gigging and stuff. And people were like, man, why are people just flocking to us? It's like, fucking nobody knows about it. Like, dude,
It
like,
takes
it's
so
such a
long to
fucking,
perfect it.
Well, not just that, but it's like I don't know. There's just like this weird, unrealistic expectations
From you or from other
musicians,
people?
From musicians, like they think that, like, oh well, because even if you're living in a small town, well, we just started this band. Like, man, people should be coming out and seeing us. It's like, dude, like,
Well, that's what
how
happens
have
when you're passionate. You
haven't
love what
built-
you're doing.
You haven't built any value.
Right.
You haven't built any, like, people don't know about you. So I'm doing this thing. If you guys are not busy next Thursday,
Sure.
I'm going to be doing a music marketing
Oh.
seminar.
It's all fun.
I'm doing a music marketing seminar in Seaside at the Lions Den.
Oh yeah.
When's that? Thursday?
This coming Thursday.
Yeah. I'll be down
You said
there.
the Lions Den?
Yeah. And,
The Lions Den. What time?
I believe I will be down there at like 5. I think it's going to start anywhere around 5:36.
So what is this going to be like? What are you going to be doing there?
I teach music marketing, and I got to do my first PRO seminar like 2 years ago.
Mhm.
PROs are performance rights organizations like ASCAP and BMI.
Sure.
So I got a buddy. Well, he's not really a buddy. He's actually just more of a business acquaintance. But Timmer
Those are good to have.
Blakely, and he started a little record label over in Portland
Oh,
a
wow.
few years ago. Little name drop. He plays bass for Paul Gilbert.
Oh wow.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
That's pretty big time. That's
He's gonna play bass on a couple of songs in my new
nice.
album.
That's
cool.
awesome.
That's way cool.
Yeah.
So
Very
you're
cool.
you're a kid and you're
So you
funk and you're starting to play at 13.
Yeah, but I was like doing metal and rock. I mean, I was learning Satriani stuff. It was all, like.
Did you start with the guitar? Or did you start writing songs first?
Yeah, I started with the guitar, and I mean, and yes, I did actually start writing like pretty much right away. When you're young and when you're first starting out, and I was living in Sacramento at the time, and guys were getting good like at 14 and 15. They were able to play like Yngwie.
right.
I mean,
That's big time.
playing Rising Force.
Yeah, that's
Dude,
crazy.
note-
Yeah,
Note for note.
Wow.
Doing it well,
You're
man.
like, I gotta level up.
That's
Doing
so
it
crazy.
well, bro.
Man.
So, here I am. I've got some friends that are actually.
This is my buddy Jeff, by the way.
Jeff likes it when
died
you
about
give him some props.
a year ago, 6 months ago.
Please, he's
I
the
don't know.
That's
epic.
awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. So, anyways, basically, one of my buddies, he was just getting so damn good, so damn fast, taking lessons and stuff, but he was just excelling. And me and my buddy Chad, we were really into like making goofy songs. Okay, like it was really about like humor, and
Right.
we were very good, So it's like we're
We're
like, let's
kids.
just keep, we just wanted to make funny stuff. It wasn't so much about like we weren't trying to get super good, but we did have to start. We had to get off our asses a little bit because our homeboy was just like he was excelling so fast that it was like, but we were still making goofy music together, the three of us, but eventually what happened is, guys start getting so good that you're still making these little goofy songs, and then you're kind of opening yourself up for a lot of ridicule.
Right.
And down in Sacramento, it's not like Oregon at all.
No,
People
not
are
at
pretty nice up here. It's brutal.
Yeah.
It's fucking brutal, man.
Yeah, that's
I mean, I'd be over at a friend's house, like just jamming on like some new idea that I had, and my buddy, he would just be like, dude, shut the fuck up and don't ever play that in front of me ever the fuck again.
you need to like that in your life, though.
I was like, Jesus Christ.
Look
Like,
what
Break you down to
look
build
what
you
it got.
back up. They break you down hard.
this guy had issues. But anyway, yeah, we didn't stay friends too long. But it was.
But who's more famous and well known now? Who's more passionate and inspired by what they do now?
Well, yeah, I mean that was the thing. He was, he was always trying to
Compete, it
learn
sounds like.
learn the super hard stuff, but the dude never wrote anything.
Yeah.
See,
You know,
that's
and so it's like, what muscle are you trying to build? And I was trying to really build that songwriting muscle right out of the gate. It was like, oh, this is cool to like start creating stuff. Like I don't like. It's cool learning stuff, and like I need to learn how to play some of that Satriani shit, no doubt. Like I need to know that stuff, but it was really the experimentation and creative part of it. Was like, oh, this is
right.
Wait, I can make my own shit, man.
That's cool.
That's the power,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know.
for sure.
So that was the muscle I started working on right away, and he was working on the analytical side of it, I would say, and so anytime we kind of throw some goofy creative shit out around him, he's just like, oh my
Stamping
God,
it down.
don't ever fucking play that in front of me ever fucking again. Like, just go fucking kill yourself. I mean, like mean shit, It's like,
Right.
Ooh, I might have thrown some hands on that one.
oh yeah, seriously. I mean, it's Sacramento, man. They're
It's brutal down there. I worked in Woodland
So,
for about
the
6
LA
months.
attitude traveled north,
Right.
is what happened.
Right.
And Sacramento just adopted it. They were just like, and in such a way that I think even LA was like, we're not
You
that
bougie-
bad. We're
I
not
mean,
that
come
bad. We're not that
on.
bad. Like
And
they
when did
kind of like
Sacramento become the god of all
exactly.
music?
It's like, oh my God, you fucking
You're Sacramento.
dude. You guys live in a shit valley.
You have
Like,
a highway
yeah,
going
it's like
through
this
that.
is why you're all in bad moods.
Exactly.
I've been to
Just
Sacramento
cranky.
once. I did not like
Yeah,
it.
it's like you're just cranky. You're just cranky people. You're just cranky people. Love you, Sacramento.
We'll be back.
I won't be back.
I might stop and play a date in your city though.
Yeah, I do love.
I'll be charging everybody extra.
I do love Swabbies though. Check out Swabbies.
What is that?
Swabbies on the river.
What is that?
They're a venue. They're right by the airport. They're right on the river.
Really?
Yeah, by the I-5 bridge.
Right.
Right on the Sacramento
Right
River.
on.
Yeah, they're it's like mostly like 80% outdoor venue.
Oh, that's cool.
They got great fish tacos.
Right.
Oh, there you go. There's the Sacramento tag.
So you're in Sacramento and you're 14. You're all competing to be the best, and then
Right. So 16, I'm like, okay, so I turned 16. I drop out of high school. I start working at Taco Bell. Pretty much like, bye friends. You know what I'm saying? I work now. So basically like, yeah, I basically like all my friends just kind of like we all just dispersed. As soon as I started working, that all just everything just kind of went to the wayside. Everybody kind of started going their own way. And then by the time I was 17, I was pretty much, I knew I couldn't thrive in Sacramento.
no.
I couldn't, like all of my friends, the ones that I had, like I said, we'd all kind of dispersed, doing our own thing. And I basically was just working a job at I went from Taco Bell to Chevy's Mexican restaurant. And I was doing, working late. And all I was doing was going to work, coming home, watching movies by myself.
Right.
And my brother, my dad lived up here, in that story. My brother had just graduated high school, and all of his friends, he's a year older than me. And so him and his friends just had a house right around the corner from here, right across the street from the high school.
Did he graduate from
Warrenton, yeah.
What's his name?
Dwayne
Dwayne.
Falls.
I know Dwayne Falls. Yes.
Yeah.
I know him very much. He was married to Eva Puckett.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
That's my brother.
Right on.
But him and his buddies, they'd just gotten this house across the street from the high school. And it was just a party house, man. I came up here one summer, and when I was 17, and I was kind of like,
This
Yeah,
place is
fucking
the
move up.
shit.
yeah, and his roommate,
Can you imagine?
his best friend was a drummer.
Right on.
We
So
got
they had
Fultanos, man.
drums.
Right on.
I started playing some guitar, and they were like, "Holy shit, dude, you're like really good." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "No." I was like,
This
"Wait."
is not
I'm
Sacramento.
like, this is not Sacramento.
Now I know why you stay here. That's awesome.
I'm was like, oh wow, people are nice here.
Right on.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
they tell me I'm good.
You are good.
You know what I'm saying? It's
yeah.
like that wasn't that. It's like it's
Right.
usually,
Oh, I get you.
yeah. Usually it's like okay, I'm gonna play a couple riffs and then I'm gonna wait for the insults to start flying. What the fuck are you doing?
Don't ever play that song again.
Nice riff.
Wow.
I'm the only real musician in this town.
My cousin's a pretty good guitar player. Kevin Brunswick is his name.
I know Kevin.
You know Kevin? Yeah, he's my cousin. We played this game because I wanted to be a rock star, but I took more than 2 people
There's
out
only
there.
one rock star here.
I can't sing in front of nobody with more than 2 people. Probably.
I could sing in
And
front of 30,000 people and
But
love it.
I've always had a great ear for shit, and he'd call me up. He goes, "Listen to this," and he'd go out doing whatever, and I go, "You stole it from the Wonder Years theme." And he did that
I
like 3
understand
riffs
that
in a
one.
row that he made.
Nice.
And I go, "It's still the Wonder Years. It's still Joe Cocker." I said, "It is," and I tell him right where he goes. God damn it,
That's awesome. That's hilarious.
But yeah, he's the one who turned me on to a lot of music. My mom played the Best of Bread for like 2.5 years
The
straight.
Best of
on
Bread?
8-track.
Bread.
And
What is that?
I listen to him now and I get like I want to punch somebody in the face.
Yeah, dude.
I can't do it. But I got Gene Simmons solo record that year, or 8-track that year for Christmas. I go, okay, this is all right. This is a lot better. And then I got Cat Scratch Fever for my birthday. The next year is like, okay, now I know which direction I'm going. And my cousin turned me on to Kiss, but he played like the Cars stuff. He
I love
did
the Cars. I love the
Kiss, Frankie Valli and the Fourth Seasons.
Wow.
You listen to them.
Wow.
And he turned me on to a lot of stuff. Made it to where I'm acceptable of most forms of music, except smooth jazz. I
You
don't
don't
really care.
I know what we're
It's like-
playing in here now
But,
while you're trying to work.
Yeah.
yeah.
What's that?
But
Can
my
you-
cousin,
God,
he was playing
that's a vision.
Iron Man on 2 strings on his guitar, just going off and just kept doing the same riff. And we're listening to Black Diamond by Kiss. And
Yeah.
I was going, this is all right, and I knew which direction I was going, at least. And rock and roll is definitely good. Definitely good. It's
Yeah. They've tried to ruin it. That's for damn sure.
They have.
Who is they and how are
The
they
industry.
ruining it?
Industry.
The industry.
In what way?
So the industry, I'll get really deep.
I really like this conversation.
It's gonna get real deep.
Do it. Go for it. We got time.
So the industry, as we've known it for decades, is really a malevolent platform.
Run by who?
It's run by just malevolent, wicked, sinister, sadistic,
Sign your life away, people.
sadistic, Machiavellian, narcissistic,
Oh, yeah.
psychopathic individuals.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
I can go deeper into that.
I would like
why.
a few more descriptive words, please.
I have some.
It's awesome.
So the industry has come completely crashing down because when any system that you build up that's built on corruption, lies,
eventually.
wickedness, right? The overreach. Yeah. So good. Tower of Babel is probably a good metaphor for it.
Sure.
And that's really what that's what the movie industry has become, and that's what the music industry has become. And so what they've done is they can't come out with original shit anymore. It's all rehash. So that's why we see movies,
The movie
30
industry
years
is
later, they
ridiculous
make
like
a
that.
sequel.
How many
Like-
more Jurassic Park movies do I need to see?
Well, how about this? How about don't wait 30 years to make a fucking sequel?
Right. Maverick should have been on our screens in '92.
But they have to, because the thing is that
There's no originality.
we got a
anymore.
lot of things right in the 80s.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
The fucking movies in the 80s
Dude.
are they're phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Back to the Future.
I know.
Back to the Future. Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
That was great.
Anybody that could even make a movie that would even seriously, man, the effects
Oh yeah,
for that, I was like,
it's crazy.
You want to know my favorite
sorry.
movie? I think it was 1984, and it's ridiculous because of horrible acting, but Reckless with Aidan Quinn. That's when I heard I Might Like You Better If We Slept Together. I love that song. And it was one of the first NXS songs I ever heard.
Good band.
Amazing.
Great band.
So basically, I guess what it really comes down to is that those industries, they've literally suffocated all of the originality and creativity out of creative industries. So if that's not counterproductive and counterintuitive, I don't know what is. And so that just kind of goes to show you that that whole system is broken, and it's not something to subscribe to. Which, by the way, subscribe to this channel.
Yes. But if you look at the mainstream media too, and how the misrepresentation of facts and fiction has pushed all of this information out to podcasters, Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn, it's the same marketing that you're talking about with people today like you who can get their own music out in their own way with their own avenues. Fuck the mainstream.
YouTube has been great.
That's why I started my podcast.
Where can people get your music? Because I Googled it and I found one video. But I would like to see all the videos.
Oh, yeah, just go to YouTube.
I just Google wrong, probably, right?
Yeah, if you put in Jesse Lee Falls band, it should...
It's all over.
Yeah, or just go to YouTube. Just go to my YouTube channel and subscribe.
So I shouldn't have Googled it.
But you know, yeah, if you go to the Google search engine, it'll probably give you all kinds of random shit. Right. But if you go to YouTube or Jesse Lee Falls band, there's all kinds of shit.
How many different platforms do you have to advertise on to get your word out? Do you think to be successful?
I don't do all of them.
What are the best ones?
I mean, the ones that I use are Facebook and YouTube primarily.
Well, let's pull that Facebook up and friend.
So yeah, please friend me. But basically, those industries have suffocated the creativity, the originality out of the damn industries, and so nobody really wants. If you,
that's you. Yeah. Look at that. That is a rock star right there.
I like the picture where you got the guitar like that.
Yeah.
That's a great picture. I was editing it weird last night for the ad for it. So, but yeah.
But yeah, man, it's just one of those things that the reason why I'm doing my podcast now is because it's all about the micro music business. I want musicians to realize, like, get that macro side out of your head, because here's the thing, and this is why I'm starting to do music business marketing speeches and educating musicians, because the bottom line is, where's the incentive for musicians to become successful if every road to success leads you to a fucking Diddy party?
Oh dear God.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Yeah.
Not the industry I want anything to do with. And I don't care if that's just I don't care if he represents the hip hop world. That dude represents the entire
evilness of all
industry.
Things. Yeah.
All he's done is do me a favor by exposing what I've been saying for years. Like, thank you. Thank you for your douchery.
Everyone.
Thanks for exposing yourself.
Everyone will have to.
Well, now I don't sound like such a conspiracy theorist, because
anywhere there's a little bit of truth, there's a lot of truth. It just needs to be brought out.
The difference between a conspiracy and the truth is time.
Yeah.
That is correct.
That's exactly it.
If you're pulling on the little string, eventually the whole sweater is going to go apart.
And I know people are going, oh, well, that doesn't mean every
Who gives a
conspiracy
shit?
theory is true. Yeah, give it time. Give it time.
Consider the source. I didn't want your opinion anyway, sir.
Nobody thought Idiocracy. Everybody thought Idiocracy was a movie. Nobody thought Idiocracy would be considered a documentary, but it is.
Exactly.
Correct.
I know. I noticed that, because that's what I watch is documentaries.
But he was off.
But yeah,
he was off by like 450 years. No, 475, because he's like, oh, that's 500 years in the future. It's like, no, dude, that's 20 years.
Yeah.
That's 20 years, bro.
Well, when you're being silenced to...
The only thing he was wrong about was that. It's like the timeline is way smaller. Dude, it's like, shit.
That's scary.
So when you talk about teaching people how to navigate through the music business without selling their souls, to me, a true artist, somebody that can play an instrument or all the instruments, you can sing, you can command a band, but you can write a song. I can sing anything, anywhere, anytime. But I could never write a song. I sat to learn to play the piano, and that bitch would hit me on the hands with a stick. If my hands, and I was very defiant, I'm like, you hit me one more time, and I'm going to get you. And I told my dad when I was 12, I am done with this piano.
Yeah.
No, you're not. You're going to learn, and you're going to learn, and you're going to learn. I go, no. But then I sat there with my black cassette player and learned how to play every Prince song from Purple Rain by sound.
That's cool.
And then I quit.
That's very nice.
And didn't do it again. I did what I wanted to do. I learned it.
Yeah, right.
But then I
Next.
realized that I could not be the lead singer and play the instrument at the same time.
So
I
there
had
you
a
go.
voice.
There you
I
go.
did not have the ability to write music.
And that's really important. Something that I, do try to underline at times is musicians need to get hyper focused. Like you can't don't don't try to be everything.
Right.
Don't try, and don't make your music out to try to please everybody. You know, niche marketing is very much.
But don't you think that you're good at what you do, as good as you are, because you were given that gift, but writing your own music and pulling something from inside of yourself to share with other people, that's important, isn't it?
It's the most important. I don't.
So I couldn't have been a rock star. I mean,
Well, I don't subscribe to going out and doing this because I'm playing other people's songs. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a cover band. I don't want to be a cover artist.
Right.
You know,
Okay,
but
tell me what the difference.
though the difference is short term or long term payoff.
Right. Original music.
You guys want to know something that's kind of interesting about psychopathy?
Yes. I have a degree in psychology.
So, a common characteristic of psychopaths is that they're always willing to sacrifice long term for short term gain.
Right.
So, you guys should love this.
Hold on, it's about to get deep here.
Because I'm sure there's some people out there right now going, hey, I'm in a cover band. Is he saying that I'm a psychopath? Yeah.
Only 1 in 5 psychopaths is physically dangerous. The rest are popes, presidents.
What I'm saying is that because there's two characteristics of a psychopath: parasitic qualities and predatorial.
Right.
Well, guess what? I don't know. Let's see.
Are we all predatorial in a way?
Sure, but it's the parasite thing that gets me. And as far as I'm concerned, if you're gonna spend your life doing other people's music, then that's kind of what you are. Is like you're basically a fucking parasite.
No.
Right.
I don't know, man. But I think way differently than most, man.
You're right.
I see like deep meaning
You're
in
right.
shit, and
I got
I'm
a
like,
friend in Idaho who doesn't learn anybody else's music. He just learns it. He just does it himself, and he writes these songs, and they're different. They're rock definitely, but they're not it's a new genre. I think is what he does.
good.
But he's awesome.
And you know what?
It's way cool.
I love that because to me it's like, you know what, man. I know it. Musicians are like, look, we have to take the short term payoff because we've got bills to pay, and it's like, well, that's probably your problem is that you're trying to actually make a living off of this.
Yeah, that's why you're working at Taco Bell or here or
Are you
there.
making a living off of it? Are you doing it full time?
I mean,
Is it full time?
for the most part, man.
Do you have another job?
I co-manage the trailer park with my band members.
But your ability to teach other people how to make a business and out of it and
I do
the
like
brand,
4 or 5
it's
businesses
amazing.
at once.
Right on.
So that's the thing. Is like if you're gonna work for yourself, if you're gonna be a musician, be multi-dimensional.
Right.
That means you have to basically do 4 or 5 kind of jobs.
Right. That's what I'm
One
learning
time
with
to-
podcasting. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
motherfucker.
Yeah, podcast.
It's like it's work.
This is gonna turn into another job.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
For sure.
And it's about diversifying, and that's what I tell musicians. Like the problem with musicians, like they want to keep putting all their eggs into one basket,
Right.
which is I'm going to keep
The
going out
definition
there
of
and
insanity.
and I'm going to keep playing live. I'm going to keep playing small little clubs that actually do my career. No fucking, it's not going to get me anywhere, but I'm going to go get that $100. And it's like, okay, you have to start sacrificing that small-minded, that little bit of money. All you're doing is you're sacrificing
Your time.
Well,
And your creativity.
It's because you can't take risk.
Right.
And
Right. See, that's a
it
big
takes
thing.
risk. That's entrepreneurial, right? Entrepreneurs take risks.
Predatorial.
So if you're gonna try to write original music, well, you better try to at least take into the consideration that I do want to write music that people are genuinely going to like and want. Like, this isn't like, I'm not trying to get biased. You know, people listen to my stuff because, oh, my friends and family said it was good. Like,
oh my God, that's the wrong group to ask.
Yeah, seriously. Like, if you're going to make original music that you are like, hey, actually, I think that this could actually be on the radio. Okay, that's, you're trying to build an actual product, an actual commodity. And then you have people who are on the creative side. They're so creative that they cannot work within the guidelines. Like, look, man, there are songs, structures that exist for a reason. And if you think you're going to reinvent the wheel, you fucking have fun with that, man. So
everyone
so
is given a gift, and it's usually very specific to one thing.
There's a balance. You got to take that creativity, but you got to have the business mindset, man. Because if you're all creative, then your songs are going to be.
You're just
going to
sit in the garage and sing songs to each other.
Well, the songs are going to be about 10 minutes long. They're going to have 3-4 jam solos in the middle of them.
Then you're Alice down the rabbit hole.
And then you're going to be like, isn't this great? Oh man, this is like next level. And everybody's like,
kill
dude,
it.
I had to stop it after the first minute.
You do a gig and
like, it's 10 minutes
songs
long.
because they're 15 minutes long.
You gotta take 24 hours and go back and watch it and go, oh my God, what the hell were we doing?
Yeah, it's like, what's the retention rate on this, bro? Are you guys retaining? Like, no, like you couldn't even retain the listener. Like, they stopped it a minute into the song, so your retention rate sucks. Right. You know, so and I know that's brutal, man. But
no, it's not.
But
in every industry, people with the highest IQs, the most creative minds, are usually in the back being managed and represented by people with half the IQ, but they have the ability to go down all the lanes and influence people and make people feel good and get productive.
Yeah, and I do want people, like, people need to really not, musicians need to just, like, forget about trying to get signed, man. Like, there is no more of that. Like, and thank God for that. Thank God for it, man. Thank God.
Well, hold on a second. Try to get signed. There are big record companies out there still putting out 35-song Morgan Wallen albums. Yeah. Individual.
I'm just saying. Who wants a 360 deal? You know what a 360
exactly,
deal
but
is?
who are those people?
You want to know what a 360 deal is?
Tell me what it is.
So,
I'm very intrigued.
The 360 deal is what the record labels have started coming up with now when they sign a new artist. So, back in the day, the labels, they put out your music on records and they took percentage of your record sales.
Certainly, it wasn't.
Well, guess what? Records don't sell anymore.
No.
So now what do they do?
No, they're on YouTube for free.
Yeah. No. You know what they're doing? What's that? You sign a deal with them, they want percentage of your merch sales. They want a percentage of your concert ticket sales.
Oh dear God.
Yeah.
Well, that's like.
Because they can't make it. What are they doing? They're becoming more parasitical. Right. They're doubling down on their parasitical behavior. They're doubling down, dude. Exactly. And now they're giving people 360 deals. And if you're new to the industry...
How long do you think it's going to be before they are completely wiped out of this whole business? Because your ability to get your music out in different channels without being signed is the same as theirs.
What's going to happen is the good guys are going to start coming.
The good guys are winning in a lot of different ways right now.
The good guys are going to start resurfacing through boutique record labels.
Right. And isn't that amazing?
And 1,000% transparency. Right. The music business ethos has been devastated for decades. Oh, yeah. In fact, I think the whole industry was actually built on a false ethos. Right. And now, because the majority of musicians are good people want to do good things. Right.
They want to share what they've got with good people.
And they want to work with good people. Right. And if you're trying to just be a good person, then transparency isn't an issue.
Right.
And exactly. Those major labels are, oh yeah, they're transparent. Yeah, right.
They are ridiculously
they're
behind
so
the ditty.
Corrupt. They're the most corrupt, man. I mean, I think even politicians are like, damn, you guys might need to clean it up over there a little bit.
Well, it makes sense if
Wow,
you
they
think
make
about
us
it.
look really good.
We grew up in a small town. We went to Main Street Mamas because we knew the owner. We went to Fultano's because we knew Robert Fulton. We would like to spend our money with the people that we love. I paid the little girl that did my hair $600 a month to dye it blonde, and it didn't even look that good, but I loved her and she loved her job and we had a great time. I know her, then all my friends know her, and people out of town that are my relatives know her, and that's the feeling that makes all of these things good and put back in the shape that it needs to be.
Yeah. Yeah, and so basically, like, LA is in ruins. I mean,
Yeah, but the 80s were fucking awesome.
now, I mean, not just metaphorically in ruins, now
Viper
now they're
Room,
physically
man.
in ruins.
Yeah.
And New York isn't, I mean, look.
New York
so you
is
had-
ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, but you had 3 major music markets in this country. You had New York, LA, and Nashville.
Nashville's the one that's winning, isn't it?
Yeah, Nashville's winning.
Why do you think that is,
Well,
from your perspective?
I don't know, but I can actually say that because, and I wasn't gonna.
Well, you're more
I
of an
was
expert
actually
than we are.
I was gonna drop this on probably my next podcast. but
You
I'm
want to
gonna-
tell us in private?
I'll go ahead and drop it right now. You guys need some subscribers, right?
Sure, of course.
So,
Well, we're definitely going to send some subscribers to you.
oh, please do. Yes, and send me your link
I will.
because I haven't subscribed to you
I
yet.
will. I will.
Okay, so here we go. I got to hear this.
So, if you look up one of my music videos, it's called "Before I'm Gone."
Okay.
All right. YouTube.
There's a record label in Nashville that has picked that song up, and they
Wow.
are in the process right now
That's cool.
of putting their team together because they're going to re-record this song.
Right on.
And the record label who is doing this, he has put out over 200 hits.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Wow.
And he has done like Colin Ray.
Oh wow. That's.
And
yeah.
so I sent him 3 of my songs last week. He texted me literally the next morning. And was
Wow.
like,
Wow. That's so
this
cool.
3rd song is fire.
Right on.
I
Right
want to
on.
I want to give it the Nashville polish.
That's. So
Guess what
cool.
he has?
What's that?
A wide array and network of radio stations that he's going to put said song on.
Dude.
Do you think that's the real
From
power?
Napa, Oregon.
You think that's the real
That's
power?
good shit, dude. That's so good.
Nobody
That's
knows,
awesome.
dude.
That's awesome.
Nobody knows.
They will
I've literally,
That's awesome. That's
and-
so fucking cool.
and just to give you guys a little bit of advice, when something big and good happens for you and comes your way, be really careful about who you tell. I'm probably gonna regret putting this out so soon, but
Why? Maybe you're telling the future before
well,
that
because
conspiracy theory comes
you need
true.
you need to be very careful about who you tell good
Right.
news to and who you tell
There's
bad
ears
news
out there.
to.
Well, if you're
There's
doing
ears out
good,
there
the
every-
devil's
haters.
coming for you.
Yeah.
That's right. So
There's ears out there everywhere.
yeah, so that's the one thing. I mean, it's exciting, but I'm also trying not to let it swoop.
Right.
swoop me
You
away.
seem like a
That's it.
very humble, practical man who's
Prac-
talented beyond means. Whatever's coming your way is going to pass right by you, I think.
Practical, yeah. I thank you for saying that I come off humble. I get a bit of a hair up my ass at times.
Hey,
but,
I think too much of myself sometimes.
Well, it's not so much. It's not
That's
so
what
much that I
daddy
think
say.
highly of myself.
It's just a
that
joke.
when you work so fucking hard and you deal with hurdles and obstacles,
Right.
it's so hard not to get jaded
Oh,
towards
yeah,
people.
Well, you should.
Totally.
That's
And
how
then
you
when
learn to
success,
discriminate
something
against the people
really
that
cool
should be there and
happens.
not be there.
Well, when something really cool happens, it's like you kind of start reflecting, going, there's a lot of people that said they doubted me.
Right.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of a chip.
No.
And you're like, whoa, like wait, just hold on, like wait, just be grateful, just be grateful
Yeah.
for this.
And then it's so
Be
mature.
grateful. But man, I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
all those little voices start popping up,
Yes,
man.
they do.
Hey, remember this guy? Remember what this guy said?
Every-
Remember when this guy? Remember what your mom said?
Doesn't
remember
that
what
help
your
you?
dad said?
Doesn't that help you?
Oh, well, it fuels me, but man, I don't know.
I've been talking about my podcast.
Say it again,
and
bitch. I dare you.
A person in
I'm
my
going.
family kept going every time I mentioned it. They go, and I flipped out one day. I go, listen, it's fine, I guess. If you don't want to believe in me or any of that stuff, I said, that's fine. Then maybe keep your opinion to yourself. But this is what I'm doing now. You know, this is where my passion is. It's the first time I've been passionate about anything in 20 years.
You hit me up, and you see, I was excited, dude.
I know, exactly.
The most important,
Exactly.
When that happens and you succeed,
you know, I know I'm onto something. People are fucking going, yeah, fucking, I'll do it.
Most people most people can't even start. That's why I said that to you. I was like,
to,
dude, you got it started.
I know. That was a big thing to me. That was a real big thing to hear that.
Dude. It snowballs.
Did you ever see Joe Rogan's first podcast?
No.
You couldn't even see him. There was one microphone and they're leaning like this and like this, and they're drawing, and you're like, where is he? What is he talking about?
Webcam.
And it's awesome to watch it
I just
progress.
know it's been a good idea. You know, I was going to do my stoner show first, and I go, no, I need to do something that might be a little more acceptable. And
Not
I
just
go,
that.
What's wrong with a stoner
There's
podcast?
nothing wrong with
Get
that.
one ready to go good, and then
A subject where the well is so deep you'll never run out of material.
correct.
That's the format.
You'll always be able to talk about music.
It has
Always.
been a diarrhea of ideas that have came out. I haven't been able to write them all down sometimes.
I got you the 5-ring notebook with different tabs.
I don't use it.
Yeah, so if you go to my house, there's literally just pieces of paper front to back.
See, and that's what I need to start doing.
And it's pretty scribbly, you know. So sometimes I get
Someday
down
that
to the
paper
bottom
will
of the
sell for
page,
some money.
Trying to whip it out real
and
quick.
I won't, you know, instead of like grabbing another piece of paper,
along with the edge.
everything starts getting real small, and then oh wait, I'm running out of room. I'll just abbreviate this whole last sentence.
Or you're like, I'm tired of writing it. You're just scribbling.
Exactly.
What the hell is that?
Exactly.
But that's like my whole house is just covered in papers because you write them down, dude.
As every brilliant genius is.
You have to write them down.
My friend, I talked to a friend of mine. He was a guitar player in high school with me. He and I hung out. Tommy Kaiser.
No way.
Tommy Kaiser. We did this video in 8th grade or talent show.
Tommy Kaiser.
Thing, and it was living in Heartbreak by Def Leppard.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay. And I'm the vocalist. Tommy's got to get up on one of those little round tables at school, those short fuckers. He's a short guy anyway. Love you, Tommy. we're still redoing it too. I told him that we're gonna redo the video. He goes, huh? I said, yeah. He goes, really?
What did you do this video for?
It was in 8th grade. I think it was 8th grade.
8th grade talent show?
Talent show, and
I was in 6th grade. We sang
Go-Go's.
Go-Go's.
Just jump on
Vacation.
this little table, and all of a sudden it was like his toe got caught. Smack! Down it goes. He's got an Explorer guitar that he's playing, and I knew exactly what he did. I'm just like, motherfucker, he had one job. So we get back together, and we get talking online one day, and he goes, I got your notebook with all your lyrics in it. And that's exactly what happened. I went,
did you know it was missing?
Oh, I knew about it. I didn't know he had it, you know.
That's so amazing.
I guess I had given it to him to try to put some music to some of it, because some of my lyrics were really good. They're really good. But it blew me away, and he hasn't sent it yet, so I'm really curious to see what 14-year-old lad was writing about. You know, I know girls were part of it, and some of it, but there's some good ones in there, so I'm curious.
Is he going to send it back to you?
Oh yeah.
Where does he live now?
Pretty cool.
St. Louis.
Oh, we might have to make a trip out there to get that notebook.
But he's a pretty cool cat. He had a great story. He had this guitar his dad gave him. I can't remember the name of his dad's band, but they were on the cusp of getting it big, and he knocks up his old lady, and Tommy came around, so he got a job. You know, he has this green Stratocaster, and
I'm gonna walk out for just 1 second. I'll be right back.
And he hawked it. And because he was having kids, you know, and needed money, the guitar got lost in the shuffle somehow. He didn't get it back from the pawn shop. Like 25 years later, like 2 years ago, he said, the old lady was calling up they've been trying to find this thing for years because it was his dad's dead, you know.
Right.
And they call up the same pawn shop that they hawked it to. They go, you got this chartreuse, you know, some weird color green.